7 signs your wife wants a divorce. You know, they say hindsight is 20/20. Unfortunately, this often seems to be the case when it comes to a wife wanting a divorce. Most men who've gotten a divorce will tell you that looking back, they can now see that there were signs long before their wives actually came out and asked for divorce. And if only they'd recognized those signs earlier, maybe they could have saved their marriage. Now keep in mind before I get into these signs that although these are often signs that your marriage may be headed for divorce, it can be dangerous to jump to conclusions too quickly based on 1 or 2 instances of these signs. So careful consideration of your wife's behavior over an extended period of time is recommended before making any accusations. Hi, I'm Dustin Cannon. My wife Katie and I are the founders of The Shimley Effect, Marriage Reset Intensive, the most effective way to rescue, restore, and revive any marriage fast. Okay, here are 7 of the most common signs that your wife wants a divorce. Number 1, she's always busy with late nights at work or hanging out with friends. You know, one of the first signs that your marriage may be headed for divorce is when your wife starts avoiding you and spending more time at work or with her friends. If you used to be her go-to person and now she's always busy, it may be a sign that she's growing apart from you. You may notice that she's suddenly having to stay late at work, much more often than she used to. She may come home from work later and later, claiming that she had to run errands or something came up. You may also notice that she wants to spend more time with friends than she used to in the past. However, your wife may be avoiding spending time with you or being home at all. If her behavior is not typical, then it could be a sign that she wants a divorce. Number 2, she's always critical of you. If your wife's constantly pointing out your faults and nitpicking everything you do, it's likely that may be a sign that she's unhappy in the marriage. Oftentimes this criticism is unfounded and irrational. You know, in the 1989 movie The War of the Roses, there is a scene where Oliver Rose says, "I think you owe me a solid reason. I worked my ass off for you and the kids to have a nice life, and you owe me a reason that makes sense. I want to hear it." His wife, Barbara Rose, responds, "Because when I watch you eat, when I see you sleep, when I look at you lately, I just want to smash your face in." You know, it's one thing when criticisms relate to things like not taking out the trash, a disagreement about finances, etc., but it's another thing when they're simply personal attacks without any reason at all. Mean-spirited personal attacks can be an indication of a much deeper problem in your relationship. Number 3, she doesn't want to be intimate with you anymore. Intimacy is an important part of any marriage, so if your wife's no longer interested in being intimate with you, it could be a sign that something is wrong. Now keep in mind that lack of intimacy is not necessarily a sign that she's no longer attracted to you. More often than not, it's a sign that she's become emotionally disconnected from you. Men who have experienced this prior to getting divorced will often tell you that it felt like they'd become more like roommates than lovers. So if she's not interested in being intimate with you as often as she used to, or if she makes excuses like she's too tired or she's not feeling well, this may be an indication that your wife may be considering divorce. All right, number 4, she's always talking about divorce. Now this may sound like an obvious sign, but you wouldn't be surprised how often men don't recognize it as a true sign that their wife is considering ending the marriage. If your wife is constantly bringing up the idea of divorce or making threats, it's a sign that she's seriously considering it. She may be dropping hints that she wants out of the marriage, or she may openly talk about getting a divorce. Either way, this is not a good sign for the future of your marriage. By the way, can you hear my snoring dog? Number 5, she's become more secretive. Another sign that your marriage may be in trouble is that your wife suddenly becomes more secretive or protective of her privacy than she has been in the past. For example, she may quickly close her laptop when you come into the room or insist on taking phone calls privately. If it seems like she's hiding something, she may very well be. Number 6, she's suddenly interested more in her appearance. Ask any man who's gone through a divorce that was initiated by his wife, and he's very likely to tell you that in the months before she asked for a divorce, she suddenly became a lot more interested in her looks. A common sign that your wife wants a divorce will be a renewed interest in her appearance. She may start trying to eat more healthy, exercising, buying new clothes, or even caring about makeup when maybe she didn't in the past so much. And number 7, she no longer cares enough to even argue with you. Now, this is a sign that is almost always overlooked. In fact, Some men even notice this sign and consider it something positive in the relationship because they don't understand what's really going on. When a woman becomes emotionally distant and has essentially checked out of the relationship, she may stop nitpicking. She may stop criticizing or even having any desire to argue about things that would have caused a fight in the past. This can be a sign that she no longer cares enough to even bother. Unfortunately, if that's the case, and if it's because she does want a divorce, then this can signal a serious problem in your marriage. Now, this is a hard one because, as we discussed previously, the opposite can also be true. If your wife's being critical of everything that you do, that can also be a sign of a possible divorce in your future. Everyone's different, and that's why it can be hard to interpret the real reason behind a spouse's behavior. Now, as I said at the beginning of this video, one or two of these signs alone may not indicate that there's a problem in your relationship, but if you're experiencing 3 or more of these signs simultaneously, you might want to take note and start paying more attention. The key to interpreting these signs that your wife wants a divorce often lies in comparing her behavior to how she used to be in the past when things were good and you were happy. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to this channel and let me know in the comments if you've noticed any of these signs in your marriage. Thank you.